In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the starter on this GMC Yukon. Located underneath the vehicle on the passenger side, let's get started. Let's disconnect the negative battery terminal. You'll find the battery under the hood on the passenger side up against the firewall, and the negative is all the way in the back. You'll need a 10mm socket, most likely an extension, or you could try to fit a wrench in there. Loosen up the clamping nut that holds this terminal tight. Once you've loosened that up, wiggle it and lift it right up and off and set it aside to where it can't bounce back and make connection. Just try to find a spot that it'll sit in. There we go. Near the passenger side exhaust, you can look up and see the starter located right here. On the side of it, you'll see a 10mm headed bolt that holds a heat shield onto the starter. We have to remove that bolt. If you sneak an extension with a 10mm socket between the fender liner and the frame, you can reach it from the other side. This bolt should not be very tight, so just break it free and loosen it up. Take that out. Now there are two 13mm headed bolts that hold the starter onto the engine block. So you're going to have to remove both of these. Just be careful that on the last one, the starter doesn't fall down. There's one. They're fairly long because they go through the starter. Take the second one out. They are both just as long. They're both the same, so no need to keep them separate. Now grab the starter, pull it back and out of its mounting hole. We're going to have to spin it a little bit and pull it down. Keep in mind it is still connected at the top, but we need a little bit more access to these connectors so we can remove the wires. I can see one of the mounting nuts here at this point, so let's disconnect that first. You'll see a 13mm mounting nut on the side of the starter, which you can reach through over the frame of the vehicle, through the fender liner, through the fender well, just how we reached the other mounting nut for the shield. Once again, 13mm, you're going to have to break this free. Once it's broken free, remove it the rest of the way. This is our main power wire. There's the mounting nut. And there's the power wire. Now we still have this signal wire right here. We can actually pull this down a little bit to get to it. And there's a locking tab on the top of it. I'm going to try and spin it around. There we go. Now we can see it better. Push this tab up, which sometimes actually it gets really stuck just because it has a lot of debris. Sometimes it helps to have a little pocket screwdriver to push on this with. Sometimes they break. There we go. You're going to want to press on that tab at the top, disconnect this, and now try to fish the starter right out of here. There it is. This is the main power wire. You always want to check this for corrosion, and if it is either dirty or corroded, sand it down where it connects to the starter so it can make a very good connection. Grab the new starter and stick it back in the same way the old one came out. Try to follow the same turns, basically, so that I can ensure it will slide up into place. All right, so first was the signal wire that we have to connect, which is right here. Slide that on, and my lock kind of broke, but I'm able to push the remaining of the red tab in. Regardless, it does have a lock, or a latch I should say, before the lock. So as long as it's latched in, should be good to go. Let's flip it around. Try to line up this stud with that main power wire. With that power wire in, start the mounting nut on. Just do the best you can to get it started nice and smooth, although we do have to make sure that as this mounting nut gets bottomed out, the power wire seats. As you can see, it has two little ears. They have to go on either side of the plastic tab that is around that terminal. Otherwise, it's not going to fully seat. So just make sure that that's happening. It looks like it is for me, so that's great. Also a little trick for this mounting nut. If you can see, I put a little bit of paper towel between the socket and the mounting nut. That's going to ensure that my socket stays attached. Let's snug this up, make it nice and tight. Just give it about 1/8 of a turn after it bottoms out. It really doesn't need to be extremely tight, and I can't get a torque wrench in here regardless. So as long as it's snugged up, the locking aspect of the nut should do the job. Grab the starter, push it up into position. Might have to spin it a little bit and maneuver it around. There it goes. Have at least one bolt ready so you can slide it in once you have it in position. Start it by hand so it doesn't cross thread. Once you start one, install the other. Snug these two up. Torque these to 37 foot-pounds. Now let's reinstall the bolt that holds the shield onto the starter. Snug up this bolt. There we go, about 1/8 of a turn after it bottoms out. Let's reconnect the negative battery terminal. Bottom it out all the way. Tighten up that 10mm nut that clamps down the terminal, and you don't have to go until this stops spinning. All you have to do is make it snug. So right about here, and as long as you cannot spin this terminal on the battery post, that's plenty tight. And there you have it, job is done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.